What's good, YouTube? See who's out there. See who's out there. Been trying to play around a little bit with these times. Now that I've started doing lives again. Live stream. I remember when I was doing live streams a while back, there was some followers in the UK. And, obviously the time zone is off. And, different time zone, obviously. And I remember that it was hard to get, it was hard for them to get on here as far as the, to catch the live streams. And the thing about live streams is that it allows, kind of like a special connection, you know what I mean, with you, with all of you. And it's the only time that I really get to, interact, get a feel for who's watching, although going forward, it's something that I'm not going to get into a lot. It's no secret. Those of you who've been riding with me for a while know that it's no secret why comments are blocked. And, won't get into that right now. But I will say that, those that remember my TV show, Keep It on the Real from the 1990s, where we had, artists on there like Naughty by Nature, Method Man. What's good? Bullet SpongeBob. Wow, that was crazy right there. That's crazy timing, and you'll see why in a second. Bullet SpongeBob, I'm going to get to that in a second, so it's kind of crazy that he chimed in right there on cue, Hollywood style. Lights, camera, action, and there goes Bullet SpongeBob through the door. But yeah, without getting into detail, and most of you probably know, comments are blocked. I'm always around. I know, Bullet Sponge. And, I'll be honest, and I'm very blunt, so hopefully no one misconstrues this or just, gets offended. I would hope that everyone respects my honesty when I say this and not look at it in any other way other than just me being genuine and honest. And, it's a shame if somebody does take this the wrong way. But I'll be honest, the reason I like the live streams is because, again, there is that opportunity to have that connection, that one-on-one kind of, connection with some of you, right? And I appreciate each and every one of you for taking your time. Like I always used to say, it literally is your time, and you're taking it out to see what's going on with Davy V, right? But I'll be honest, I'm old school. And when it comes to the whole video, video show, whatever you want to call it, obviously it's YouTube. But I take it back to the 90s when I had my TV show, Keep It on the Real. My cable television show up here in Rochester, New York, upstate New York. And what I mean by that is, that's before the internet was what it is today. There was no YouTube back then. I'm taking it back to 1995. So that was like 9 years before YouTube. YouTube came on the scene like 2004. So I'm taking it way back. And I'm not going to lie, again, not to offend anyone. I'm not big into the comments, I'm not, especially when certain individuals can't behave, right? I don't like, blocking comments, but I've done it as a safety net. And again, I'm not going to get into it right now, but a lot of you know why I've done it. And it's something that right now I don't want to discuss. But the way I look at my channel is basically like a television show. And what I mean is when you watch, one of my favorite shows, Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul or whatever, right? You can't interact. You can't really leave comments on there. And again, it's not to turn anyone off, but I like that. And that's the era that I grew up in. I grew up in that era way before the internet is what it's become, right? And don't get me wrong, it's good, and I take advantage of social media, and I get my message out, right? Of course, I'm doing it right now. But there's also a very ugly, dark side to it that I don't like. And it's something that I really just don't don't really care for the comments, like I said, especially when certain individuals, just can't behave. You know what I mean? Like children, I guess, right? So, and that's as much as I'll go into that. So if anyone notices why are comments blocked or whatever, there's a reason for it. But apart from that, it's also that I don't do this for the likes. I don't do this. Obviously, I modified, if you notice, the likes too. I don't do it for the likes. I don't do it for the numbers. I don't do it for the comments. That's just not why I do this. And I do this, I share stuff, and I enjoy doing it, and I hope to inspire some folks and maybe inform some folks on different things like the First Amendment right to record, like just, standing up for your rights, standing up for what you believe in. And it doesn't have to be police accountability related. Maybe somebody can take a little bit of, my story and put it into their daily lives on any other level, having nothing to do with activism or standing up for rights or, but maybe you can incorporate it in your own way. So anyways, enough talking about that, but check this out. Bullet SpongeBob is a First Amendment auditor. And the reason I even started to make this video in the first place, which is why I laughed when he said what's up when he came through, is that what's good, Red Comic in the house, my brother. Love you, my man. Straight up. Again, one of the day ones right there. And I love and appreciate each and every one of you. But there's something about somebody who remembers, the Davy V of the 90s and has been there, from pretty much from day one. And that's my man right there, Red Comic. So back to the whole Bullet SpongeBob. That's why I laughed when he chimed in, because I don't do, I've done a lot of interviews. What's good? I've done a lot of interviews. I've done, again, I've been doing this since 1995. So I've done, actually, let me see. Don't laugh at me here. How do we flip this around? Hold on. So if you guys can see here, especially for the new subscribers. So this is the Source magazine, real big hip-hop publication, print media. This magazine has been around since 1989. So specifically, this is the August 2001 issue, number 143. It's got Snoop Dogg on the cover, right? And if you notice right there on the top left, it says "Cops Caught on Camera." You see that? And this is a one-page Q&A. That's the Rochester, New York Police Department right there. That's a video that I filmed. And it says, "Brutal New York cops caught on camera. Filmmaker lets police know the streets is watching." And that's me. Oh, wow. I had hair there. Hold up. That's a rare Davy V photo right there with some hair, huh? And it's a Q&A. Local newspapers. Another newspaper here, our Rochester, New York newspaper, Democrat and Chronicle. It's full of SpongeBob. There's another picture with hair. And a lot of other, that's Naughty by Nature, by the way. That's when I had my TV show in the 1990s. This is, got into a little, let's just say, Rochester, New York police officer didn't appreciate that, Rochester, New York police officer didn't appreciate that I exposed his corrupt rogue ways in a video many years ago. So my point was showing that, and there's so much stuff that I don't have hanging up. There's stuff that's put away. There's all kind of stuff. There's stuff. Oh, I'm dropping stuff here. There's stuff like this. Just a lot of stuff that I don't even have out. So my point with that is that I don't do interviews like I used to. In many ways, and I know it sounds like a contradiction because it's social media, but in many ways, I'm a I try to be very private person. Don't like to be around crowds. I have in many ways, I have a disgust and a disdain for mainstream media. especially here in Rochester. So I've stopped. I've stopped a while ago giving interviews. And I'll be honest, even projects like a lot of college students used to reach out to me and ask me, if they could interview me for their projects, for their school papers, for their different community activism projects that they were working on. And I stopped. And I used to do it, and then it just became, to be honest, it's like, and it goes back to the whole comment stuff, and maybe some of you will understand. I want it to be a one-way thing, and I know that may sound a little greedy, but it's one way. I'm putting out my story in some ways. I'm putting out my viewpoints, my opinions, my passions, and, please don't take it the wrong way. It's just that I've been doing this for so long, over 20 years. And if you want to count before that, in the 80s when my dad was active here in Rochester, so it's actually been doing it for more like 30-something years. I used to accompany my dad, to rallies, to marches, to protests. I was as young as 14, 15 years old 16 years old in the mid-80s. When 2 Rochester, New York cops terrorized me and my family at gunpoint, which gets me to the Bullet SpongeBob thing in 1 second here, how it'll all tie in together. But, so in many ways, the channel is kind of like a one-way thing. You can come on here, learn something, maybe get inspired, or just see a little bit of my life. But there's not going to be that interaction, especially with all the stuff that's happened with certain individuals who have misused the comment section. So I apologize for that. It was a hard decision, to block comments, but that's why that is, and it's not something that I want to keep addressing or keep talking about. So, but moving on from that, Bullet SpongeBob is a First Amendment auditor here in Rochester, New York, and the reason in the Rochester, New York area, and the reason I got into the whole rant and ramble there, I always joke, I'm Cuban and my grandfather was Italian, so I have Cuban and Italian in me, and we love to talk. So some of you probably could relate to that. But the reason I got into the whole thing about interviews is because I, gave a little bit of an exclusive, a rare kind of thing, because this guy, Bullet SpongeBob is his YouTube name, and he's done some good work, and he's doing some good work. And I'm gonna link the channel right here under this video description in a little bit, and I'm gonna link specifically the first interview questions, what happened to... Oh, what's good, my $1 million check? Virtual Frog, that's another day one. Another day one. He's been there for a while. I love you, my brother. Thank you for coming through. So yeah, I gave a little bit of an exclusive, and it was kind of like a rare thing. And I liked it because I went back to my old neighborhood. It is something that I've never done even on this channel. So I appreciate it, appreciate Bullet Bob. And by the way, it took me a second to get his name right. It's not like Bullet SpongeBob. It's Bullet Sponge Bob. So, good dude, good guy, First Amendment auditor. He's got some very interesting videos on his YouTube channel. And, it's something that you guys should check out. You should check out the channel, and I'm going to link specifically the link to the interview that was a really cool video. Learned a few things too. No doubt. I'm sorry, bro. With the glare, it's always hard to see the screen. Red Comic. Yeah, Red Comic saw the video. I saw that Red Comic actually, he commented on the video. And I appreciate the love. You know what I mean? Appreciate the nice words that you commented on there. Bullet SpongeBob said the broken phone. Yeah, we had a little bit of technical issues. Technical difficulties, so to speak, but that's all right. It's all good. That's part of it. With a broken phone too, I meant. Right? No, I know what you meant. Bullet SpongeBob. Yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but it was great. We went back to my old neighborhood, and it's something that I haven't done in a while. For those of you from Ghost Town, West Side, Rochester, New York, 585 Child Street, J. my old little stomping grounds. A lot of memories there. And it's a good interview, you know what I mean? And it was a little bit emotional, you know what I mean? It's not easy going back there and talking about my dad, especially recently. It was 25 years that he's been gone. Let me show you my dad here, especially for the new viewers. This is my pops right there. That's him with Al Sharpton. This is my dad right here. Al Sharpton, Minister Florence, longtime activist here in Rochester, New York. That's me. There I am right there. My dad and the judge, Judge Provenzano. That's where my dad got his citizenship papers. Happy, happy day. Another picture. This is my dad with the old school, I think it was a Panasonic camera, VHS. This is my dad talking at City Hall in 1991. That's him. That podium is still there, by the way. History right here. And that's one of the Rochester, New York police chiefs at the time, Roy Irving. That was a city attorney right there. And this is my dad's citizenship photo, which is actually this photo right here. See that? That little photo in there on his citizenship papers is that photo. So anyways, little history there. So yeah, it was a little hard, you know what I mean, going back to my old neighborhood, but it was a lot of fun. And again, you know, check out Bullet SpongeBob's channel. And again, I'll put the link in a little bit. I'll put the link right in the video description specifically to the interview. And I think you guys and girls will enjoy it. And again, I'll try to do more live stream and play around with the times a little bit so that I catch everybody in different time zones. So I appreciate the love once again. And peace.